In this video, what we're looking at is something called RAM, and RAM stands for Random Access Memory. And what RAM allows us to do is to store information inside the RAM. We can write to the RAM, and we can also get information out. We can read from the RAM. And the random part isn't that randomly information's just coming out, it's that we can access any part of this memory anywhere in the location of this RAM. So I can decide that I want to store something inside, for example, I could decide that I want to store something inside this byte of information here, and I could decide maybe I want to read from this byte here. And so it can be random, as it were, as to where I'm going to read and write to in RAM. So the RAM's set up with small locations which can store 1 byte of information each. So this would be an example of one small snippet of RAM. So maybe I want to store the word hello inside RAM. So I would decide maybe I'll start here. So it can be random, it doesn't have to be anywhere inside the RAM. So I randomly decide I'm going to start here and I'm going to store hello, so I'll put H and E and L, so 1 byte for each of these letters, and I store those in the RAM. Now RAM is something which is called volatile. So it's a volatile memory. What that means is that when it loses the electricity, it will lose the information. So if we turn off the computer, because it's volatile memory, everything that's stored in RAM goes. That's why when we turn off the computer, if we're working on, say, a word processed document and we're writing a letter, turn off the computer, we lose that letter unless we saved it to the hard disk, which is non-volatile memory. What do we use RAM for? It's actually got a lot of uses. The things which we put inside it are a tremendous amount. So if I draw out roughly here another segment of RAM, then inside here I can store my operating system. So I load up the computer, and off of the hard disk it gets all the information about the operating system, and it will put that into RAM so that it's accessible as I'm using the computer. It will also store my software. So again, off of the hard disk it gets all the information it needs and puts it into RAM. And also user data will be stored on there. So what's the point in having this thing at all if the operating system and the software and everything is actually sitting on the hard disk? Well, the beauty of RAM is that it's tremendously fast. This is fast compared to a hard disk drive. What RAM is not, though, while it is fast, what it is it's also expensive. And again, this is compared to a hard disk. And so there's the key points which you need to know about RAM. You can read to it, you can write from it, you can go to any location in RAM and read, so that's where the random access part comes. You don't have to go to the beginning and read all the way through. And it's extremely fast, but it's also expensive when compared to a hard disk drive.